Hello fellas, and welcome to a little tutorial video. Some of you guys have been wondering how I've been getting my storage from the Wooden Spoon server. It's pretty simple thing to do really. It's mostly just a series of sorters that's lined up. So I'm just going to take you through how we make this. And so what you're going to need for this storage is basically all your chests, and for every chest you want a hopper, and then for every set of 5, like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row like this, you want 25 extra hoppers. You also want a comparator for each chest and twice as many repeaters for each chest, 1 redstone torch for each of your chests, and then 3 times the redstone for each of your chests. And that is pretty much what you need for the storage itself. And then you're going to want some standard blocks of choice. It could be pretty much anything you want. You're not really going to see most of this stuff because it will be iron, so you won't need. Doesn't really matter so much. I'll be using iron. You're going to want packed ice to send your items around the system, and you want some smooth stone slab to cut off water in places, and you want some. It doesn't have to be glass, but I recommend glass so you can see the items going through your system. For your towers leading up into your storage itself, you're going to want droppers, hoppers of the same amount, repeaters of twice the amount, redstone torches of twice the amount, and soul sand for each of your towers, and 24 bits of redstone, or 3 times as much as your droppers. When you've come to the end, you're going to need either sand and a cactus or a bucket of lava, and you can use either of those. What you're also going to need is obviously water, an anvil, and a secondary item. This item you're going to rename with the anvil to stop all the things flowing through your system that you don't want. And that's pretty much it. And so fellas, you start with staggering your chests just to the sides. I'm going to do a 5 and 5 and up by 3 because it will just make the thing simple. You can go as high as you want and as long as you want, but obviously the longer you go, the more droppers you're going to have to stop your items despawning. So when you are at this point, all you need to do is put hoppers going into all of your chests just like this. So pretty simple. Make sure all of them are facing into the chest as so, not going into the hoppers, just like this. And then above you need to get the remainder and come out by 2 and then line them all with this one. So come out like this and that one, and last but not least this one here. And so they're all in line, and they have to be, you have to have 2 go overhanging, because otherwise you'll put a torch here and it'll lock this one and nothing underneath will get sorted. So then once you've got your hoppers in, you could do it for both at the same time, but I do recommend batching out one side and then continue with the other, so it stops you walking around. But once you've done that, you come out 1 block from that hopper and build a line of whatever block you chose. Then you come down 1 and build another line just there. There we go. And on the underside of those blocks you want to put redstone torches, and this will lock these hoppers so nothing can flow through them. So if I just throw something on there now, nothing happens. And once you've done that, you need to come down, build 1 out, 1 below, and 1 further out, and you can remove the previous block. And then you build a line just here, and then you build another one just there as well. And this should make a nice little L shape. And then once you do, you get your redstone repeaters and put them on 1 tick each, just like that, all 10 of those. And then you come to the top, and then you put your block of choice on all of that. Then you come round and put your comparators on all of those. Redstone in on top of all of those blocks. And then you get your block of choice once more and put them in front of, or behind I should say, the repeaters, just like that. And then you put redstone dust on all of those as well. And last but not least, you get one more batch of hoppers, and you put these facing into the comparators, just like that. They have to be facing in, well, they have to be facing into the comparator or out, but not down into it. The last thing you need to do for the actual sorter itself is the actual sorting stuff. Now, you need to get your secondary block, your filter block, I'm going to call it. So we'll come here, use the anvil to just change it into something. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't say anything that's going to basically go through your system. For example, just like that. And then I'm going to basically do most of the stuff that's on my hotbar. So in this first one, you come here, open it up, you put one of your filter block in each of the 4 boxes, and then in the first one, you put 48 or 42, sorry. So 41 and then 42 will make sure it's actually flowing through. And do that for everything you want to sort. So just a quick one. The filter block in the last 4. And then just like that, 42. And it'll go down to 41. So do that with all of your chests. And so fellas, the next thing you want to do once you've got all your items in their systems, you got to come down, you got to link both these together. Now I do recommend doing it with ice and water streams. And what you want to do on the side of all of these pipeworks, you want to put glass on both sides. So just like that. And now fellas, before you put the water in, you've got to figure out where your items are coming from. So what's going to happen, I'm going to have a little water stream coming from down under here, coming up, and then into this. Now, I could just do that. For this one, it would be pretty simple because of how small it is. However, when you get larger ones, you're going to want to start throwing them into a dropper so the items don't despawn. So, to do that, we put a dropper right there. And you'd put a hopper going into that straight from above, just like that. I would then have my items going into that hopper. And so fellas, as you can see, this is where my items are going to be flowing. So if I put my water in there, you can see we'll have items flowing through there. You want a water tower, you need to put soul sand. You need to ensure that all the blocks above it are source blocks. So we'll do that just now. You could do that with, if you're in creators, obviously, you could do it with just a water bucket. But if you're really survival, doing it with a water bucket is a little annoying. You can do it, I'm not going to lie, but it's a bit annoying. So an idea, put a water block at the top and a kelp at the bottom and just bone meal the kelp to the top of your tower. And that will, and once you break it, all of them will convert to source blocks. Nifty little trick. And then what you want to do, oops, is you want to put a cap on it. Otherwise, all your items are going to end up flying out of it, and you're not really going to get many in here because they might just pop off the sides. And so for this, we need to now turn this dropper into an automatic one. So we get 1 block underneath and then come out by 3. We then get a comparator just there. And we put that going into a block. We can then remove the block from underneath it. And we put redstone dust on the block after. Then we put a redstone torch on the side of that block with the redstone. We can then come down 2 blocks from that redstone torch. Like that, and then you can remove that top block. Then we put redstone on that one. And then we come this way, and you need to put a block on the side of that redstone. We can then come down 1 block from where the comparator is, and we can come down 1 more, and then back 1, and then remove the previous block. We then put a repeater on there on 0 tick, And then on just after that, we put a redstone torch after the repeater and underneath the dropper itself. Last but not least, we get a couple more, and we put a block next to the comparator and one next to that block itself. And you put redstone dust next to the comparator and repeater into that on 2 ticks. Finally, you need to put redstone block between the redstone here and that repeater, and that is the auto dropper. And now the last thing to do is you need to put the water in. So if we start with water here, now when you're doing these hoppers, I always recommend, highly recommend, facing these droppers go into a block so they're dragging on the side. If you put them straight out into it, the items would often be in here and get stuck in the little dip, because like these have a little dip in them like that. See, there you go, little dip. They get stuck in that little dip, so you don't want that. So always put them facing into a block at the side of the stream. So as you can see, we've got to here. Now as you can see, it's a little off, so you don't want to put any thingy blocks like that to there. So instead you come back to where the first one was, to the start of the stream, the hoppers, and then you put a new source block there, so it's covering all of them. When you get to ones like this, we could then put another block there, and then some water source there, and then just follow it all the way around to the end. And that, fellas, is mostly the entire sorting system sorted. All you want to do now is right at the end, once you've gone up and thinking, you can use like this kind of system just with the tower itself if it's short enough. But obviously, like if yours is taking quite a long time to get round, you want to use more dispensers or small droppers, sorry, so you can so things don't despawn, as I said. So here we'll just put a cap on this so my items aren't going flying. But right at the end, you want to get to the end, and you want to put a block, and then come down by 3 blocks, and then remove the previous. Then you want sand and cactus, and then you want to encase that cactus. And you have to do this a bit of an unusual way, obviously, because you can't put anything on the side of a cactus, so you need to come round to the sides just like this. And then put a cap on the end, and that will stop any items that that haven't been sorted or have been filled up. It will stop them all getting into your system and, well, clogging up your server's resources. There we go. Off it dies. And that, fellas, is the whole system. It's a pretty simple system. So what shall we do now? I know. I'll throw a few of these items in. So if we just... yeah, I didn't quite think I was going to get it. Just throw all these in. Just like that. And let's throw in an item that isn't in the system, like ice. So as you can see, all the items are flowing around, and I've put that in completely the wrong spot. There we go. And they've all been sorted. And where did the extra item go? I didn't see. No, let's just throw this in. If I can reach. There we go. Plop that in the system and it'll go up. Get shot out. Go under there. Around it goes. Over all those hoppers. Up. And onto the cactus, because it's not in the system. And that is pretty much it. The only thing you do now is, if you want this longer, like an extra set of 5, you just basically copy this out and you bring the ice down here, and then you continue on the same. And all you got to do is ensure that when you've put these in, you put a slab on the first ones. So as you can see, we've got here. So we'll have all these ones. This redstone torch may interact with some of these ones. The torch won't itself, it was more with the secondary blocks, but to be honest, you should be fine. All you got to do is when you bring the ice path, you bring it down here. So what I recommend doing there is putting, you can make sure you get a lot of speed with these, and put the thing here, and then your source on this end one, and bring it down this way. And then once you've got to here, which is where you should have your hopper line going to, is you send the ice back up that way over the set of hoppers. And as long as you've got a decent stream on the go, put your stream starting there and on this one, so it's flowing over the hoppers as much as possible. And other than that, that's pretty much how it's all sorted. So, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you like this tutorial. Come back to see some more maybe in the future. Maybe I could think of some other things to show you guys. But check out my Discord, check out my Twitter, and check out my Twitch. And I'll see you guys in the next video I make. See ya.